Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on this very, very special program just coming on our channel, OGTV in Abeokuta. It is called The Royalty. Yes, The Royalty, you heard me well. It is a program that is designed for our KBSs, the Alayeluas, they are in their palaces. And it is also a program where we share their experiences as the custodians of culture and tradition. How far, how well. Some of the challenges possibly they might have been going through and how they've been solving it, and so many other sundry issues are what we shall be discussing on this program. My name is Kayode Taiwo. I am your host on this program. And today, we are in the palace of the Alayelua, the Olu and paramount ruler of Yewaland, Oba Dr. Kehinde Gbadewole Olugbenle Asade Agunloye the Fourth. And on the program today, in the next couple of minutes, we shall be sharing with him some of his administrative, community activities, culture and tradition, like I said earlier on. So it is my pleasure to welcome to the royalty His Royal Majesty Alayelua Oba Kehinde Gbadewole Olugbenle Asade Agunloye the Fourth. Kábíyèsí.
It's my pleasure.
Kábíyèsí. Kábíyèsí. Kábíyèsí, like I said earlier on, this program is designed purely for the Alayeluas, and it is for us to, share in their feelings, in their thoughts, in their various communities, issues arising, and how they've been able to solve, and how they've been able to manage their communities. So, Kábíyèsí, let's start from your ascension to the throne. It is a known fact that you are born with blue blood. You are a prince. But the process or the interest in becoming the Olu and paramount ruler of Yewaland, was it something that you had in mind from relatively your childhood, or maybe when you become an adult, you felt that, I am a prince, I am qualified, why not?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kayode Taiwo. Apparently, I never slept or dreamt about finding myself here while growing up. Why? Because our parents, we knew actually that we are from a ruling house in Elaro here. That's actually the Agulei house. But our parents, because when I say our parents, I mean within the family, it was not actually disclosed to us that the ruling house would be the next in line to take over the throne. And even at that, my father kept that away from us. Like I do tell people, coming here, we say I'm an accidental royal father, because it was not something I prepared myself for. But then along the line, when the throne was vacant, calls began to came in, and all was brought on Kehinde. This is this. But then it dawned on me that our ruling house is now in line, is next in line to fill the vacancy of Olu of Ilaro and paramount of Yewaland. Within my lineage, myself and my twin brother are the only son of my father, though we have other Olugbenle. And within the ruling house, we have two male lineage, the Ajibade Olusoji lineage and Olugbenle lineage. The third one is the Machomi lineage, which is a female lineage. And by the family convention, the female lineage, ordinarily they don't usually bother themselves when it comes to filling the vacant stool. of Olu of Ilaro anytime it comes to the ruling house. And Ashadi Agunlaye was the first Olu of Ilaro that changed the tide of history when it comes to how kings have been sent from Oyo. Because initially kings have been sent from Oyo to reign for just 3 years. After 3 years, they go back, they send another king. So it was during the tenure of my forebearer that he stopped that. He didn't go back. That is Ashadi Agunloye one. And that was he changed the narrative of going back to Oyo, sending 3 years, going forward and backward. And at that time, after his reign, there are some other kings that reigned. Some of them were not from royal family. You know, in those days, you are a warrior, you can take over the throne. And so, as far as my lineage is concerned, after he left, his children, which include Olugbenle, Olusoji, that's Ajibade Olusoji, Matomi is a female. Olugbenle reigned after him. That's after some other kings have reigned. And after that, it was the turn of Ajibade Olusoji lineage of Ashadi Agunloye ruling house. So Ajibade Olusoji lineage was the last male lineage that actually occupied the seat from our ruling house before I came. And when the vacancy was vacant, it took us about 4 years to sort so many things out. And during that time, I learned so much about family politics, community politics, especially when it comes to filling the throne. My background then, as a professional in the estate surveying and valuation profession, and also an assistant pastor of the Redeemed Church of Church in Abuja, I have to put him before God. And when my mom called me, my mom was still alive, even though he never lived to witness my coronation. Because my dad, I've lost my dad before the stool was vacant. So I have only my mom and my sisters to guide us. Because I tire myself as the only male in the family. So when I read, they were calling me, calling Tai, did that. I said, well, he has to put everything to prayer. So he called my siblings, called my sisters, and asked them to go and pray. That between Tai and myself, who should we present to the family, not because left for me, I never was in support of throwing out every candidate. So when they came back, my mom came back, he called me and Tai called. Your sister came back that they are praying, that candidate that should go. And I have my twin brother's blessing, that there's no problem. And he rallied around, he's also a pastor in Redeem. So we prayed together, and that's how I tactically, when I say tactically, not with force like politicians would do. Okay, let's see how it goes. So we begin to hold a series of meetings within the family. And I begin to see a little bit of politics, interest. I said, come, I better withdraw from this. I'm averagely okay where I am, by God's grace. So my mom would say, listen to what they are saying. As long as you are not there to say, don't, I have to be there. So one thing add to the other. And at the family meeting then, I told them that all these ideas, you go and bring one, 3 is coming out from there. Let us present only a candidate. And we carried on and take them to the kingmaker for blessing. They said no, that the family does not have right to pick only one candidate. I say, I don't see anywhere in the ship law. Yes, the law provides for candidate or candidates. So it's a choice, it's a family choice. If the whole family agree today that Kayode Taiwo is the one we are sending there, no kingmaker will change this, as long as you know that the person you are sending there is capable. That was when I began to show interest in the family politics. I later began to see that in every race, and it's still happening to today, you see element of some people calling members of the family, you can't be part of it. You can go and join the race now. Just the same thing in politics, especially in this part of the state. So I saw that during my journey to this place. And along the line, one of my uncles was still alive. He was actually the most eldest of the family. We used to hold meeting in his house. I told him, Uncle, this thing is not this, so this is my belief. Let's go for one candidate. At the point, there was the politics of using Ifa. I came up and I told them, you want to use Ifa to determine how do you, if any of us say no, I don't believe or support what Ifa said, and it goes to court. What are you going to tell them in court? This is not, it is not how do you even put it as an evidence in court that this is what Ifa said? That in a contemporary time like this, you cannot say what one man has said. That's the tradition, you use Ifa. But I've said there have been many times when you consult 3, 4 Ifas and they will give you 4 different answers to the same issue. How do you address that? So I told them the normal thing in a democratic way, because even the government by the chief law called the Oba elect. They never asked, the law did not ask any kingmaker to go and consult Ifa. Yes, they are free to do that, to guide them. But their own is that elect. And that is why when after all said and done, they call Kabiyesi elect, Oba elect of so place. Because the government believe that Ifa divination can never, it will cause problem. And that is the only way the government can resolve that is by election. How many surviving kingmakers are alive as at that time? What was the reason? Very simple. That is how they shelve the issue of Ifa. At a point, some people say one will be in this room when they come, another one will be in that room doing this consultation. It became a laughing matter. Not as if Ifa divination is not good. That is the tradition. But it has been bastardized. Okay. We have so many scammers in the system now that everybody is looking for what to eat. Poverty has led so many people to become an Ifa oracle overnight. So not as if people like us does not believe in Ifa, but it was just like the same way you have it in the Christian, in other religions. You have so many Islamic priests that are scammers, and you have so many pastors that are scammers. What God has not sent them, they will release it to the public. So it is not about one is condemning Ifa divination. It is about where we have found ourselves.
The abuse.
As a people.
Okay.
And the only way out is just go there. How many are you? Just elect. Let's count. And we go. That one will not cost anything. So that is how, when I say interest, I begin to grow interest and begin to have interest. Then coming home again showed me that there are so many issues. And I felt that if I cannot join politics, which I abhor, like my dad would say, you are father of all, you are friend of all. I felt that this would be a better platform for me to say I can contribute to the development of Yoruba land. That was really ginger my interest, not anything. Okay. I don't know what is my salary as an Oba. I never even know. We never have any training school. We don't have anything. I just know that you'll be there to moderate, supervise, manage, and so that is how I find myself here.
Alailua. Now, eventually, you became the choice of the kingmakers and of the family. At the point now that it's obvious that you are the next Kabiyesi here in Ilaro, what were the thoughts you were having at that time? Because I'm asking you that because I know that you are coming from the private sector. You are also a religious person who also has spiritual obligation. Now, you are coming to an environment where you have to also contend with the culture and tradition of your people. What were the thoughts?
Well, thank you very much, Godrito. You see, when I was growing up, I'm very close. I schooled in Ilaro for 3 years, Anglican Grammar School. We are the pioneer student of Anglican Grammar School, Ilaro. And that exposed us to the family house. We stay in the family house, not even with anybody. We were living in the family house in Gababolu. So I've never seen my parents worshiping any days. I've left in the compound. We don't have anywhere in the morning that people wake up within the family and say they have to worship a deity. There, in the ruling house. We don't have it. The only thing I later heard is that they worship the crown. And you get my man buffer. It's not like they wake up in the morning. Those who do it, but later I heard they do it maybe once in a while. So my background never see any of my parents, even grandparents. I think I met some of my grandparents saying these are the things as a royal family we do. So that's at the back of my mind. But the only thing I just want people to appreciate that a king on the throne is like an administrator.
Okay.
Even before the independence came, the kings have been administering over their domain. They are administrator. And as an administrator in your domain, as a traditional ruler, you moderate and manage the tradition in line with your tradition and culture. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it's not a matter of choice for the king. You cannot just be worshiping Ogun and be the same person that worships Obatala. You'll be the one that will, oh my God, your own as a king. I mean, it's to moderate, encourage them. You get my point? To ensure, especially in this modern time, that whatever they are doing is in line with the law of the land. I will give an example. For example now, Oro. It is absurd now for anybody to lock up Abeokuta just for a day or even overnight, that people should not go out. That will be crisis. Dangote Cement, for example, in my domain here, they operate 24 hours operation. So are we locking our economy or asking them to pack away? That for 7 days or 14 days, people should not work. We will have places that they do it during the day. Children will not go to school. Those that are sick will not go to clinic. See, times, you see my point. We need to understand the mystery of time and season when it comes to culture. There's some culture now that we cannot, by virtue of the opening up of everywhere, you can't just say now you'll be doing that in public. That is what we grew up to hear. In those days, you walk miles in the bush before you get to some places like that. So you are free to do those things in those days. But now, you can't be exposing yourself. If anybody kill anybody now, you know the result. You will be killed also. So these are the moderation that is expected of a king. You have to enlighten these people that this one, let's moderate it. I'm not saying you should not do it. Okay. For example, here, since I came, I've never locked down my domain, even at night, for Orocon. But I encourage them to go to their roof, their own cathedral, their own central mosque, to do their prayer, and God will honor them. Not until you begin to parade the community that people should not go out, that God will answer your prayer. So those are the moderation. When in other places, that's what they do now. They go there, do whatever they do in the night. Even if you want to do it today, you are within a confine of an environment, not asking people not to express their fundamental rights, that they should not go out. You are infringing their fundamental right by saying people should not go out. And people have right to react, and there will be crisis. So these are the moderation that the king is expected to begin to appreciate on the throne. But in those days, some villages, people might not even come, they might not even see a car in a year. I'm saying even bicycle, when the bicycle comes, it's like a king. It's like a big man in those days.
So you are free to do those things.
God bless you, my brother. You are free to do those things. Nobody disturb anybody. Nobody is even seeing you. But you do that now, there will be crisis. Can that happen in Lagos? In those days when we were growing up in Korodu, you could dare not try it. But today, they can do it. Everywhere is open up. There is no bush. So these are the, I just make oral calls that we can't practice it. Those that are trying to doing it are always finding themselves in trouble. I know one Nigerian that has been in police, Larusel, over all this matter. The law took precedence. So these are the understanding I want my people to understand that yes, nobody's against the practice of our culture, but we need to moderate it. We need to moderate it so that people will begin to appreciate this tradition and custom. Even the ordinary, when you came, you prostrate. I was also begging you to stand up. How many of our people, those are the simple ones, how many of our people observe to a royal father? You see everybody coming with hand or just taking a bow as if we are before a Senate president or Speaker of the House. So these are things, we are the ones that the simple one that we can hand over to our children, we are not even honoring it. You will beg some children to even portray for you or kneel down to greet an elders. I'm not even talking of a king now. It's as bad as
that. Can we then say that these are part of the issues that the kings do face in their communities? People gradually moving away from the culture and tradition of Yoruba. For instance, I recall sometimes in the past where a king said he would prefer to be referred to as Alailua other than king, other than using his royal highness or royal majesty. He said Alailua is more befitting. I don't know how you see such a feeling.
Well, you see, it is all English and Yoruba.
Okay.
Whether you are Royal Majesty, or Royal Highness, or Imperial, we now hear Imperial Majesty, everything further that you are a king. I get what I'm saying. Alailua is more Yoruba. Kabiyesi is Yoruba. So in the north, even the most senior royal father in the north, the Sultan, they call him Royal Highness. Yes. Hausa don't use majesty. But here, everybody is either a Royal Majesty, so it does not really add up to anything as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe in title. Royal Majesty, Imperial Majesty, all I know is that I'm a king, Olopilaro, and paramount ruler of Yoruba land. I don't want anything to be added to it. So you now call His Royal Highness, that's what we felt is okay. Because His Royal Majesty, some people address me Imperial Majesty, you get my point. But I know I'm Oba Alailua, Kehinde Gbadewole Olugbenle. But you see, the problem with the tradition, I just want to digress, it's a foundational problem rooted in importation of Western culture among our elites. Then the constitutional problem again. The law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, well, they say it was handed over to them by the military. I don't want to know how it got there, but the fact is this: there is not a single road for any royal father in Nigeria, whether in the northern part of the country, or eastern part, or western, or southern part of the country. And when the foundation is not there, what do you expect the king to do? These are the issues that people need to understand or appreciate or address. Because we are not under a law. A king is under a law of the land. You go outside the law, the same law that affect Kayode Taiwo affect Oba Kehinde Olugbenle. There is no law that is different, that is made for a king. You break the law will take precedence. So these are foundational problems that's actually affecting the institution, that are not making the king to actually express, you get my point, their talent, what the culture are giving unto them. It has been taken away. And in the midst of that, what do you do? Who moderate the selection of an Oba? It's the government. So when you look at all this, We are just working amiss. Don't let any king deceive you. We have limitation under the law. At times when I see people talking, I enlighten them. And they see the reason. I don't have the power to call the DPO here that go and arrest anybody. Do I have the power? The best I can tell him is that, while I want to buy you, help us to go and resolve. I don't have the power. But in those days, Obani Chubulen Kule, can I lock up anybody here? I've become a kidnapper. So these are the challenges of this office. Even ordinary dispute and reconciliation, we attended to in the palace. I will tell you what my chief attends to every month. I give kudos to them. Settling matters, civil matters, there is nothing that stops government. Give anything that has to do civil law, let it start from the palace. And let the law say whatever decision is taken at the palace is binding on the two parties. So if you are not beginning to move maybe to the magistrate or high court to appeal. So many issues I ask myself, so all this one will have gone to the magistrate court or the high court. We resolve it in the palace. Even in my absence. Okay. The committee will sit down. At times when it comes to land issue, they will go there, inspect, check measurement, okay, am I gamma? You let's do it like this. Your own father is like this. And everything is resolved amicably. But government and leaders to show people in power are not tapping from the palace. The issue of court, for example, now.
Okay.
It's a criminal thing to behead yourself, prison. And people come, I say, come. I cannot take law into my hand. Traditionally, we know what should be done. But if you do it, it's the same policeman that needed your assistance, the people that will say, go and arrest them. So, in the absence of the government not giving due recognition legally, I'm not just saying amiss, legally, this thing, we want your people to resolve it. They will move. The issue of insecurity in this country, if they had left it in the hand of the royal father, they would have solved this problem. It's not about Amotekuna, it's not about the police or the army. They will do what is right. I'm telling you, the powers of old are still there.
Okay.
But grace is taking it away from our people. And I'm telling you, with time, there will be nobody to exercise those powers of old. Because parents are going gradually, they cannot hand it over to their children due to Western education. Everybody after graduation will move to the city. Even the one that is just secondary school, they look elsewhere. So nobody is watching the parents how those things have been done. So in the midst of this, we need the royal fathers, the traditionalists need to begin to think out of the box. Okay. We need to think out of the box and begin to see how do we address some of these issues. But then, the legal aspect of it is fundamental. If we really want to actually express our culture and tradition the way it should be done. So many issues affecting this country are things that will have been resolved by the traditional rulers, using the traditional way to cleanse it up. We know how to cleanse up some there is an issue that you don't need to leave your house before you do it. So these are the issues. You have seen instances where you see cows just dying in some areas. The powers are still there. I've seen situations where police will arrest farmers in my area here that the Fulani people complained that their cow was killed by them. I say, was this shot? Do you see anything? Do you see any gun on it, or was it beaten to death? They just saw him dead on their farm, and now you have to arrest them. You see, these are the issues.
And the person who took his own cow to somebody's farm has not offended.
If I have every right to put insecticide on my farm. Let's forget about tradition now.
Okay, at least
in my house, I can place it anywhere. Yes. Kira. I applied mosquito, whatever you call it,
Insecticides.
insecticide to ward off mosquito. So in my farm, if I discover that intruders, I have everything to protect what I've planted. So if I just spray there, even ordinarily there are some insects that affect, I can spray insecticide to protect them. So if you come and go and eat the leaf, and you now go to where you did not ordinarily would have gone at that time, you're on your own. So I have to let the police people understand that these are the issues with us. These people are innocent. As long as you didn't see them beating or you didn't see them shooting, the cow came, ate, and somehow they died. So how do you resolve that?
There's no way to prove what actually killed them.
Thank you very much.
All right. Kabiyesi, earlier on in your opening remarks, when you were talking about how the crown eventually settles in Ilaro, finally, we said they used to send a king from Oyo to come and spend 3 years. Another one would be before your own forebears, Agunloye the first. Ashadi Agunloye first decided that no, I am no more going. Okay, and I also see that in your cognomen there is something like Omoba Karile Oyodun Jokolo.
Omoba
Karile or something. Omoba Karile Oyodun Jokolo Dundun Lalafin Oyojo is somewhere in the cognomen of Ilaro somehow. I'm just trying to see what actually led to the fact that a king will have to be brought from Oyo. Was Ilaro a satellite town of the old Oyo, or how come they sent king from that place?
You see, history recorded that Aro, who is an hunter,
okay,
from whose Ilaro even derived their name, Iluaro, came from Oyo. As an hunter, you find this place very fertile and good for farming. He saw hills surrounding this place, so he saw it as a very good abode, and he goes back to begin to invite his people here. That's how the settlement began. Along the line, Alaafin of Oyo got information that his people are somewhere here. In fact, administratively, they should have a head.
Okay.
So in those days, there is no car, there is no plane. So what they do is that they work for months, or for weeks to get to Oyo, send a king to administer them. So in the course of all these kings coming, people come with them.
Okay.
They settle down. And that is why you have so many families telling you they are in Pahai, they are in Idogo, they are, you get my point? Yes. All of them are all coming with some of these kings. You know, information will go, we have sent Kayode Taiwo to Ilaro to become king, go, some of them will trace you to come and join you, settle down here. So that is how the system became, the town became, begin to grow. But you see, when I said my forebearer, that is the Ashadi Agunloye, was the first king that remained here and died on the throne. What informed his staying, whether it was a directive of Alaafin or it was just his own, he did it as his own violation, history did not record it as. But all we know is the first king that reigned and died in Ilaro. And since then, every other king has been a system of picking them. Even some of them might come from Oyo within the system. You see, in Ilaro, there are more than 10 ruling houses. Us kings that have reigned from different families. Okay. But it was during the government set up an inquiry and they limited it to just four ruling houses. Okay. Those are the original families that actually migrated from Oyo to settle here. They either got to the throne forcefully as a warrior or just find the interregnum and they make themselves king. So that is why today we have just four ruling houses. We have other families that have reigned. And since then, I think the growth of Ilaro has been phenomenal since that time. And you see that there are other towns You go through their history as you begin to interview other rivers. Some of them will tell you that they have their roots from Oyo. In fact, mostly in Yewa here, most of our people migrated from Oyo. We have few that came from Ife. So most of the Yoruba towns you see today, you either have your root either from Oyo or from Ife. So, and that is why I always tell people, when you talk about the leadership between the two kings, it's something that is very, very difficult for anybody to. At times, you say you are from Oyo, I say that's all I know as far as history is concerned. So whether Oyo is not from Ife or Ife may come from Oyo, that's not known to me.
That's not part of.
So exactly, the one I know is that this town, my parents, my forebearers originated from Oyo, and that is why we have a very strong allegiance and bond with Alafi. That nothing we do here, the Alafi doesn't come. And I want to put it to you that even the people at Okeo, in Okeo, all left from Ilaro again to settle down with some other people at
Okay.
So that is why today, anything they do there, they always invite me here to join them. And anything we do here, Onjo of Okeo doesn't joke with it because he knows there are people. They are all, it's all migration. On their way back to Oyo, they saw the place again, they settled down there with some other people, and the history is there. You can't read the history of Okeo. Right. So it's an interesting phenomenon that you see all the people in Okeo actually are from Oyo. But in this Yewa land, I would say about almost 75% of most of our people here came from Oyo.
All right. Kabisi, let's look at the administrative setup of the Olu of Ilaro and its chiefs. What category of chiefs do you have working with you? In different towns, they have different types of.
Traditionally, and those that the government gave recognition are the kingmakers.
Okay.
We have the kingmakers, about 11 or 13 of them. Then you have the warriors, who we refer to as Olorogun.
Right.
They are warriors of the various quarters in Ilaro. You have Ashiwaju Onola, you have Seriki Onola, you have another, which one again, Seriki Balogun, within the same quarters.
Okay.
Of Onola, Onotun, Onosi. So these are just the kings that are actually supposed to sit in the palace. All these Iyaloja are all honorary titles.
Okay.
It is only Parakoyi, who is the head of the traditional head of the market, are supposed to be in the palace. But because you want people to be part of the administration, we invite Iyaloja to be part of the council. But basically, those that own the palace are the kingmakers and the warriors. Then you have all the honorary titlehips.
Okay.
We also encourage, they have a forum also that we encourage them to sit on their own, and also they meet. But they don't usually meet with the traditional ship, except occasion, and most of them are just, they are not based in Ilaro. Some of them are in Ilaro, you get my point. Their own is that when there are issues or the program, they rally around to support them to ensure that everything is going on well. So these are basically the people that own the palace, the kingmakers and the warriors, which we call Afobage and Olorugun. And that is what is actually obtained in most parts of the towns in Yewa, especially those that came from Oyo. And the law recognized the two of them. They have spelled out their name in order of seniority in most of our gazette. So these are things that people should appreciate, that they have an important role to play, the kingmakers and the warriors.
And how well are they playing this important roles?
I will give you, for example, when I came, they meet every maybe 15 days. But when I came, I told them I can't work with counting days. We have to have it, yes, because there are days that will fall within a day I have a serious appointment with the government. there might be a day, counting of 15 days that will fall on Sunday. Another one will fall on the day that is a public holiday. So I told them, I want to have a plan. I want to have a plan for a month or for a year, so that I will know that this month, this is the day.
That
And since I came, I told them I will be having my meeting at so period at the end of the month. And that has been the system. But people complain, Monica, tradition are made by people for some people, not the other way around. So tradition is just, let's be doing it like this. And we all came to it. So to send people that did it, somebody else can moderate it. So you can't say because this is the way we have been doing it and we have to continue like that. No. If it doesn't work, we change. Nothing has changed. All that is that we meet. I'm not saying we will not meet as a council.
Okay.
But we have to devise a way to ensure that we are accommodated, so that the man in Lagos, the man in Ibadan, can plan that, okay, my meeting every month is also this. So if I'm planning my life, I can say, okay, this day is out of it. I have to be in Ilaro for a meeting. But you can't 15 days, you will have forgot. And they will call you, and it's already supposed to be there. It's not, that is just, and later they themselves realize that,
Kabiyesi, I have not heard you mention one of the important titles that I feel most Yoruba towns always ensure they look for somebody capable, and that is the.
Let me hear you well.
I said there is one of the traditional titles that I have not possibly heard you mention, and in most Yoruba towns they always look for somebody who is very, very strong, energetic, and that is the position of Iyalode, because they say Iyalode is Oba and Obìnrin. Now, in your kingdom, I don't know whether you use Iyalode here or not, but if you use, in what way has that office been helping you, particularly in dealing with the women?
Well, thank you, Kechi. I've appointed a new Iyalode almost 5 years ago now. By our culture, Iyalode is not appointed by the palace. It is appointed at Ile-Ogoni.
Okay.
That is the understanding I want people to know. It's not about how powerful you are, how rich now. At Ile-Ogoni, they will decide who will be their Iyalode and not Iyalode, and present him to the palace for endorsement and blessing. And that's exactly what I've done. I never imposed anybody on them.
Okay.
That has been the tradition, and I've not changed it.
Okay.
My own is I always tell them, make sure you look for somebody who his mouth will be respected within the community. And so far so good. I think the new Iyalode and Oti Iyalode have been doing excellently well. They have been moderating the women community in conjunction with Iyaloja. So those are the people I would call the head of the women in the society. But my predecessor honored Senator Iyabode Anisolowo with the title of Seriki Iyalode of Ilaro. It's an honorary title.
Okay.
I think she was giving that title just to complement the role of the late Iyalode, who was picked from the Ile-Ogoni forum.
Okay.
So you can see the administrative balance he has done. You look at the weakness of the one coming, and he strike a balance. I say, okay, fine, you are well exposed, you are well this balance.
Compliment this.
So that is the wisdom that most of our kings at times need to put on the table when tradition and modernity are in conflict. We don't need to say, oh, I want to take over and I look for one big, no. So my predecessor laid that foundation, which I also, at least, I tap a little bit of experience, wisdom from that. So there are so many titles like that, that the traditional belong to some family.
Okay.
I get my point. So if you don't feel that, maybe the people, the family are bringing,
a
you
weaker
can say,
person.
okay, Asiwaju so of Ilaro. That was not say you are not, are you getting my point?
Okay.
So that's what some of our Kabiyesi are now doing to balance, to strike a balance. You look for somebody who is well exposed that can bring the dividends of development to your community, and all of them will work together. And you ensure that there is no way their line of authority will cross, so that there will not be crisis.
Crisis. Okay. Kabiyesi, Ilaro prides itself with being the host of one of the oldest federal polytechnics in Nigeria. And Ilaro also is also known as a city with so many adjoining villages for agriculture. When you now look at these two sides of having to host a tertiary institution on one side and also having an agrarian society at the other side, bringing it together, to what extent has these two, what I would call situation of advantage, has it actually affected the development and economic activities of Ilaro?
Thank you very much. You see, the challenge we have in this part of the state, especially Yoruba land, is that we are located at the border.
Okay.
It is an advantage that government over the years have neglected. They have not really taken advantage of our location to the West African sub-region to better the life of our people here. And that is why most of the development are concentrated at the central, because most of the major trunk roads, especially Lagos-Abeokuta Express Road, pass through Egbaland, which is in the central. Another major one is the Lagos-Ibadan, which pass through partly through Ogun Central again, and partly through Ogun East.
Ogun East.
So when you look at this major trunk road, which you see, road is very, very vital to any development. Accessibility is very crucial. Whether you are talking of agriculture, I mean, you have to move your goods out.
Yeah.
Look at the railway line to Idogo. Government has neglected it. Now they have built another one straight to Ibadan, to the rest part of the country. Why was it cut off? Today, what you are telling our people not to farm again, because they can't eat everything they farm.
Yeah.
They have to move it out. Thank God you are an Awori man from Ota. Look at the roads. It does not start with this government. So nobody is pointing out critical at my brother, the government. These are neglect of many years. How many of our elders that stay in Abeokuta pass Songota to Lagos? Everybody pass through Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to the airport. And that's why the concentration has always been on that axis. So when an area is not accessible, what do you do? Federal Polytechnic, you mentioned, for example, has also tapped into the agrarian nature of our area here. They now have an agricultural department.
Okay.
So that at least our children and other people who come to the canal be trained in agricultural engineering and other courses in engineering in agriculture. So these are some of the challenges we have here. As long as this area is not accessible to the rest of Nigerians, things will. And I blame our political elites who are only after their interests. And I say political elites, I mean my own children here.
Okay.
The blame is on their table, not on my people, it's on their table. And I blame my people also for keep on recycling the same set of people anytime election comes up. Including my people in Awori. Until we get things right, Kechi, we will remain where we are.
Maybe more people
But
should.
I thank God the current government is doing a lot. But I can't do it alone. I knew it when it was coming. That is coming to face a huge infrastructural deficit, especially in this part of the state.
Okay.
That would be, I don't know where we, let me tell you, let him dedicate the next 2 years. All the infrastructure, all the money, let him concentrate here. He can't finish the work in the next fear. The money, that is it. Just let you know the extent of the neglect of this area. And it's affecting agriculture. People have abandoned farm. And now you said that you are now complaining that they are doing smuggling. Those are the issues. How do you balance it? The border is there, you find something cheaper at the back of your house. And I told them, we don't have border. Taiwo, there is no border between the Republic of Benin and Nigeria in this part of the state. Because you don't work.
It's a free passage.
No barrier, nothing. Our border did not meet international boundary standard. Yes. Go to the other part of the world, Western world especially, you will see barricades. They show them on TV how people cross. It's not easy to cross to another place, but here it's very, very easy. We have 1,001 paths that enter this Yewa land, including your Adogbe and Awori. Some by there by stream, some are there by this. How many with these guys? They are working under extreme condition. So when people abandon farming, there is no road to move. They will do what they feel they can easily move and sell easily. They will survive. So the game is survival. Poverty is there.
All right. Kabis, let's move into what I would call the lighter side of royalty now. I know that before you became the king, you were a pastor. By that token, definitely you have a restricted social life. Because I know pastors who always want to stay off certain, but as a royal father, that you have different kinds of your children in different spheres of life. Do you also create time to socialize, or how do you socialize?
Well, thank you, Taiwo. Most of the people ask that question, especially when they hear a pastor. You see, one thing, I don't deceive myself.
Okay.
Even when, before I don't deceive myself, I'm a very factual person. I say the way it is, I go. I don't care who have offended. I cannot say, so you are offended, it might be no. But that is my life. You see, I don't deceive myself. When I came here, after spending some few months and a year, I know there is no way I can continue my pastoral work. When I go to camp, some of them say, they still preach on the pulpit. I ask myself, I don't deceive myself. It's hard for you to combine pastoral work with this office. Because you have a lot, except maybe I don't know about other real fathers, but the seat of this Paramount of Yola, I have huge work. At times I have sleepless nights. So I want to minister on Sunday. Why you have to study? You think all these pastors just climb the pulpit and you see them with book or iPad? So I ask myself, when will I have time? I still study the word. I'm talking of study the word with deep understanding, to stand on the people, to be related to them with the Spirit. So I rather concentrate my energy with my God to see how I can administer the people God himself has given to me. I didn't find myself here. It's God. So God knows. In fact, I see my preparation as a pastor as part of God's plan for my life. And that is helping me. Because when I take decision, I take it with the fear of God. When I speak with the fear of God. So I always thank God that I went through that background. It's helping me a lot. It's guiding me. The Spirit guides me a lot. So you cannot miss it. When it says socialize, I socialize. But in court, I don't go to nightclub. I select the kind of social gathering I go. I don't go to every party. I have so many ID there. I don't go. So people have stopped inviting me because they know KBC will not come. I choose where I go. I don't go to night party. Any social gathering that is not during the day, and it's usually I watch before I go.
Okay.
The only one you did not mention is the issue of maybe marry second wife. Because that one, I face that one virtually every time. It's a matter of choice.
Because people
It's
always
a
say
matter
that
of
there must be
choice. Any
Omoyi.
Kabiyesi, once you are a Kabiyesi, it's a matter of choice. It becomes a matter of choice. If you like, you retain your one. There are some people that are not pastors. They have one wife.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's a matter of choice for
But
any king on
at
the
times they
throne.
look for
The tradition allows it. The tradition
Abioye.
allow you to marry as many wives as you can afford it.
Okay.
Are you getting my way? It's a choice. So those are the things people should appreciate. That once you find yourself here, there are things that are expedient, and there are things that you have to. So it's a choice. If tomorrow I decided to marry second wife, I married the second wife because I'm a traditional ruler, not because I'm a pastor.
I want to thank you. But
pleasure.
briefly, how do you see your reign so far in terms of your vision? Are you satisfied? Are you there, or you are still moving ahead?
Recreation?
No, I mean your reign so far. Your vision before you came in was that you want Ilaro to become.
Well,
how will you describe your reign
I
so
don't
far?
need
Are
to.
you satisfied?
See, by God's grace, I will be 10 years next year. True. Time when I sit down, I say 10 years like that. So fast. I know we are all there together when we came in 2012. But you see, I don't need to speak about the development that has happened in the last 10 years, but everybody can see. So it's not for me to speak about what has happened, but I would say that the most important thing that is bothering me is the huge, is the state of our roads. That is the major problem we have. We will have moved further than what you have seen here if all our roads, especially that enter Yewa land, are better than what we are witnessing. But I'm trusting God that in another 2 years, with what is going to happen from Sangota to Idiroko, and the one that Bega is already doing on Lagos Abeokuta way, and by God's grace, Dangote has already also starting from Obele down to Shagami Tasin. Let me tell you, those 3 key projects will transform the Wawori area of Ogun State. And I want to appreciate the governor for doing everything, using all his political way to ensure he carried the federal government along, also bailing out, because he can't do it alone. The money is not there. I said we want to deceive ourselves. So thank you, Taiwo.
It's been an interesting time with Alayelua, Kabiyesi, Oba Dr. Kehinde Gbadewole, Olubele, the Olu and paramount ruler of Yewa land, who has been sharing his experience on the throne. In another couple of months, he will be 1 decade on the throne. He has discussed with us some of his mission, his vision for his community, his challenges, and of course, the other good things that has happened to Yewa. We want to thank Alayelua once again for being our guest on the program. I hope that we will still come around and will be our guest again. Yes, that's how far we'll go on the program today. Next week is another time on the royalty, when we will be bringing you another royal father on this program. Until then, I leave you in the hands of Almighty God. Bye-bye.